Yo, what's up, gamers? Welcome to Tricky Jim. Thank you so much for tuning in on this lovely Thursday night. We've got Gym Leader Challenge League coming your way from Full Grip Games on this lovely evening. And things are getting underway right this very second. Thank you so much, Nova Bash, for that Prime sub over on Twitch. And yeah, we're getting right into things. Should be an awesome night filled with Pokemon TCG action. As we can see, we've got a healthy turnout for GLC this evening. For those of you that are not familiar with the formats, Gym Leader Challenge is a fan-run format. Singleton, kind of like Magic the Gathering's Commander, except you build a 60-card deck and you play 6 prize games, just like in Standard, except you can only play one type of Pokemon in your deck. So it's a singleton mono-type format, and there are also no rule box cards allowed. So no Pokemon EX, V, V-Star, or anything like that. Got a really nice turnout for Gym Leader Challenge tonight. And something else that's fun about GLC is that it's actually on the Pokemon trading card game live for the next week. So if you are interested in trying out Gym Leader Challenge for yourself, there's actually a truncated version of Gym Leader Challenge available for play on the Pokemon trading card game live for the next 7 days. Part of the trainer trials, I don't know what you want to call it, the trainer trials game mode, where the Pokemon Company International is giving players an opportunity to try out alternate formats for a couple weeks at a time. It's a temporary game mode, so if you are interested in trying out Gym Leader Challenge on the Pokemon trading card game live, you're going to want to log in sometime in the next week so that you can do that. And hope that those of you that are giving the trainer trial giving it a try, I hope that you are enjoying it and enjoying your time playing Gym Leader Challenge on the Pokemon trading card game live. Keep in mind, this is a grassroots format created right here on Tricky Gym. And, you know, Gym Leader Challenge is just a few years old, really. And for the format to be taking off in the way that it is, with leagues all over the world supporting Gym Leader Challenge formats, side events that you can find at regional and international championships, even the world championships, and also now being featured on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Just a very exciting time for Gym Leader Challenge formats. And, of course, it's never been a better time to try building your first Gym Leader Challenge deck. You can read about all of the rules and read about each different type in Gym Leader Challenge format over on gymleaderchallenge.com. And we are going to be hosting the largest Gym Leader Challenge cash tournament ever held, a $3,000 cash Gym Leader Challenge event we're going to be hosting on Sunday, June 1st, as part of our Destined Rivals $6,000 cash doubleheader events happening on May 31st and June 1st. So very, very exciting time for the format, especially with the return of these cash events that we're hosting here at Full Grip Games. And it's really cool to give players a kind of marquee event to travel out to and to watch here on stream, so that players can watch the meta develop on a big stage in kind of a centralized way. The way that Gym Leader Challenge works, since it is a grassroots format, Gym Leader Challenge doesn't have regional championships and things like that, where players can watch the meta evolve on a big stage and then adapt to it week in and week out. So, the most we can do is offer these large cash events at our release weekend events. There's also reports, that come in from the Gym Leader Challenge side events at regionals and nationals, but I'm very excited about the return of the release weekend Gym Leader Challenge events here at Full Grip Games. It's just been a huge deal for the formats, and so great to get to see the meta evolve. Round number 1 here at League tonight. We've got Craig Davenport's on the right, who looks to be playing a water deck, and Ben Peacock on the left, who looks to be playing a psychic deck. So should be a fun matchup that we've got. Water versus psychic. I'll have to see what sort of builds these players have brought. I think, yes, it looks as if Ben Peacock has opened the Iron Boulder, which is becoming one of the most popular attackers in psychic type builds in Gym Leader Challenge formats. Iron Boulder has that adjusted horn attack, does 170 damage for just 2 energy. However, it doesn't do anything if you don't have the same amount of cards in your hand as your opponent. So you have to hand match in order to do that 170 damage. So a very strong Pokemon. If you can figure out how to hand match with your opponent, you're going to be using Adjusted Horn for 170 damage as early as the first turn. I mean, it's certainly possible. If you have Dimension Valley, which is a stadium card, makes it so that your Psychic type Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless less, you could pull off a turn 1 Adjusted Horn. Craig went first in this match, and Craig pretty much just had to bench Remoraid and pass. It looks like Ben Peacock is having a very explosive turn 1 so far. He's got an Inkay down, and Buddy Poffin. Buddy Poffin is just as good in Gym Leader Challenge as it is in standard formats. If not better, actually, because there are some decks in standard format that don't play Buddy Poffin. Your big basic EX decks, think your Miraidon EX isn't going to play Buddy Poffin. Your Raging Bolt EX decks aren't going to play Buddy Poffin. Pretty much every Gym Leader Challenge deck runs Buddy Poffin because there are no rule box cards allowed in the format. There are some Gym Leader Challenge decks that just don't have enough basic Pokemon with 70 hit points or less to warrant playing Buddy Poffin. But many more decks, I would say, play Buddy Poffin in Gym Leader Challenge than they do in Standard. And Buddy Poffin is one of the strongest consistency cards in Standard. So I think that says a lot about the power of this card in Gym Leader Challenge formats. And this is scary because Ben has attached Psychic Energy to the Iron Boulder and is using Marnie. So Ben will draw 5, Craig draws 4. If one of these 5 cards is Dimension Valley, then Ben Peacock would have a turn 1 Adjusted Horn. It looks like he does not rip it, but that would certainly be a really tough thing for Craig to endure. Craig's got a really nice hand for himself, actually. I mean, he's opened the strongest starter in his deck with that Alolan Vulpix. Alolan Vulpix has the Beacon attack, which allows you to search your deck for 2 Pokemon and put them into your hand. And it's a free attack, so extremely powerful, especially in a setup deck like Craig's water deck. We see Craig has got Remoraid. Remoraid can evolve into Octillery. Octillery has the Abyssal Hand ability, which you may be missing out on if you've been playing Gym Leader Challenge on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live, because Octillery is from the Breakthrough set. That is the X and Y block. This card was printed in 2015. However, it is still a mainstay in water-type Gym Leader Challenge decks. This card was very strong while it was in standard formats. It's got the Abyssal Hand ability, which is the same effective ability as Bibarel's Industrious Incisors, which just recently rotated out of standard formats. Except in some ways, Octillery is even better than Bibarel with the Industrious Incisors ability, because Octillery has that magic 90 HP. 90 hit points means that Octillery can be searched out by Level Ball, and that might just be what we see Craig doing here. Craig played Ball Guy as his supporter for turn. Ball Guy allows you to search your deck for up to 3 cards with Ball in their name and put them into your hand. And Craig was able to find Level Ball and Quick Ball and Dive Ball. Dive Ball is another older trainer card. Allows you to search your deck for any water Pokemon you want and put it into your hand. So kind of like a Master Ball effect for water Pokemon, which is very strong. Now that Octillery is online, Craig has a nice stable board. I do see he's got Wailmer on the bench as well, so I do suspect that we will see probably the new Wailord from... I don't know. It might not be the new Wailord from Journey Together. It might be the Special Waves Wailord. So we'll have to see kind of which direction this deck is going. I know that Craig has enjoyed the Special Waves Wailord. But then also the Journey Together Wailord is very strong in its own right. I mean, they're both massive and they're both extremely powerful. So let's take a look at them. Wailord from Journey Together has the Hydro Pump attack, does 10 damage plus 50 more damage for each water energy attached to this Pokemon. So it can do 210 damage for 4 energy. Also has a groundbreaking 240 hit points, so kind of nuts in that regard. And I'm guessing by the reversal energy, yes, it is not this Wailord we're actually going to see Craig piloting. It is the Special Wave Wailord from Silver Tempest, who is also massive. It's got 200 HP, not 240 HP like the new one from Journey Together, but Wailord from Silver Tempest has the jumbo-sized ability, which makes it so that Wailord takes 30 less damage from attacks. So effectively has 230 HP and is just very difficult to knock out. Special Wave does 120 damage plus 120 more damage if Wailord has any special energy attached to it. So all you have to do is have a special energy attached to Wailord, pay its attack cost of 3 water and a colorless, and you're doing 240 damage. So very high damage output. Craig ends his turn with that beacon attack on the Alolan Vulpix and finds the Wailord, as well as Frostmoth, I think he put into his hand. And we'll see what Ben has to play on his turn now. He's got a second energy on that Iron Boulder, so I do suspect that we're going to see an adjusted Horn. But can Ben match hand sizes with Craig? That is the question. Craig just used Abyssal Hand from Octillery to fill his hand to 5, and then used Beacon to go get 2 more cards into his hand. So he's got a pretty decent hand size right now, a hand of 6. It could be difficult for Ben to match hand sizes unless he's got a card in his hand, a supporter, that might help him to do so. No, actually just has 6 cards in his hand, doesn't hardly play anything out of the hand. As we see, he didn't evolve up any of his benched Pokemon, didn't really play any of the supporters out of his hand, just opting to go for that adjusted Horn and take the knockout. But Craig has the potential here to smack back with Wailord. Wailord from Silver Tempest just needs a reversal energy attached to it. We know Craig does play reversal energy. Reversal energy is an energy card that only works if you're behind on prize cards. We see the counter energy is actually there in the prizes, as well as Guzma and Hala and Satitan, who is another popular attacker in the Special Waves Wailord deck. And Craig is going to be looking to find the reversal energy. And it's really very easy to negotiate, right? Because all you need is a Teammates or a Raihan, and you could just, and there it is, Teammates just allows you to search your deck for 2 cards if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during the previous turn. Again, this is a card that is not legal for play right now in the TCG Live version of Gym Leader Challenge because TCG Live does not have the X and Y and black and white card pool programmed into the client currently. So hopefully that's something that the Pokemon Company International will work on, getting the black and white and X and Y cards fully coded into the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. I have certainly found myself missing Teammates as a supporter option when building my decks on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. Teammates just such a powerful comeback card, making it so that you can search your deck for any 2 cards that you want if a Pokemon was knocked out during the previous turn. Similar to Raihan, and Raihan is kind of like half a Teammates, half a Mela, right? Like it accelerates an energy and goes and gets you any card you want. Raihan is also very powerful. But Teammates, just being able to go grab those special energy cards, being able to set up your Pokemon. It's really good for setting up stage 2 Pokemon as well. If your opponent starts with an aggressive start, like we see Ben doing with the Iron Boulder, Teammates makes it so that Craig can go set up his deck in response instantly with a 2-card search. And I really like Teammates in this format because it allows for counterplay, like we're seeing right here with Craig, who is going to clap back with a special wave attack for 240 damage to tie this up at 5 prizes. And now what looks like an early lead for Ben Peacock is now a tie game. Enhanced Hammer coming down from Ben, and will bop that reversal energy straight to the discard pile, leaving the 4 retreat Wailord in the active with just a single water energy on it. And Craig's support Pokemon that he has set up is Frostmoth. Frostmoth has the Ice Dance ability, which is great, but can only accelerate water energy to your benched water Pokemon. So as long as Wailord is in the active spot, Craig will not be able to accelerate energy up to it. We'll have to find a way to switch that Wailord to the bench and then use Ice Dance. We see that Ben is able to find Kirlia. Kirlia, extremely powerful in Gym Leader Challenge with its Refinement ability. Discard a card from your hand. Draw 2. We also see Ben has drawn into Raihan and Avery. He's got Cynthia and Caitlin in his hand as well. Raihan would be good if Ben had an attacker that he wanted to accelerate an energy to, but I don't really think that he does. I would rather see him... Oh, actually he does. He was able to recover the... was able to recover the boulder there. I did not see that. So yeah, with the boulder on the bench, playing Raihan's not so bad. I was actually going to choose to Raihan to the active not to. Which is interesting. Because the not to is not going to be attacking. Looks like Ben is considering just using Raihan as a way to search his deck for whatever card he wants. And he is now considering grabbing Wobbuffet so he can just pivot into Wobbuffet and turn off all of Craig's Pokemon's abilities. Wobbuffet is one of the strongest cards in the expanded card pool, honestly. With the expanded event that just happened in Aichi, there were 800 players that showed up to a Japanese expanded event. I mean, this is expanded. You could play 4 of a card in your deck, and you can play all the most broken V-Stars, V-Maxes, EX Pokemon, whatever, what have you. Wobbuffet was still featured in those expanded decks because its Bide Barricade ability is so strong. The fact that you can just shove it into the active spot and turn off all non-psychic Pokemon's abilities. Very strong ability there. So it looks like Ben actually used the Raihan to go get Xatu. Xatu has the Clairvoyant Sense ability, which allows you to accelerate a basic psychic energy from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon and then draw 2 cards, and then finds Nest Ball. And now he may finally go get that Wobbuffet off of the Nest Ball and retreat into it. And that's exactly what it looks like we are seeing here, folks. Nest Ball will find Wobbuffet, and Ben is going to try and bring this game to a halt. And this is something that I just love about Gym Leader Challenge format. I love the pace of it. The fact that we kind of started off with some fireworks, a quick attack from Iron Boulder, followed up by a huge attack from Wailord, and now with Enhanced Hammer and Wobbuffet, Ben is going to put the brakes on this game and give both players a little bit of time to continue setting up. And it's that back and forth, the fact that you're not just guaranteed to take a prize card every single turn, you're not just winning in 3 or 4 turns. It's just something that I really love about the pace of this format. Craig actually has the perfect response to Ben's play. This is incredible. Guzma can push that Wobbuffet out of the active spot, making it so that Craig now has access to his abilities again, puts Luxurious Cape on the Wailord, making it even bigger. The massive 300 hit points, just absolutely nuts. And then is able to use Frostmoth's Ice Dance ability to accelerate some extra water energy onto Wailord, but actually doesn't have enough energy, just 1 energy short of the knockout. So Craig, even though he has the Guzma to break the Bide Barricade ability lock, doesn't have all the energy he needs in hand to finish the deal and knock out Kirlia. Kirlia does have a retreat cost of 2, though, so it's possible that Kirlia could get stuck in the active spot if Ben is not able to find a way to move it. With Mysterious Treasure, though, Mysterious Treasure allows Ben to search his deck for any Psychic Pokemon or Dragon Pokemon, but we know this is Gym Leader Challenge, so don't be silly. You can't play a Dragon Pokemon in your Psychic deck. Mysterious Treasure can search your deck for any Psychic Pokemon you want, put it into your hand, and it looks like Ben is going to grab that Gallade. Gallade has got the Buddy Catch ability, which allows you to search your deck for a supporter card of choice, put it into your hand. So wonderful grab there for Ben. Oh, thank you so much, Kyle, for the Prime sub in the 32 months. Appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you. And the Gallade could help Ben to find a supporter to get out of this awkward position that he's in. Field Blower coming down will remove 2 tools from Craig's board, getting rid of the Float Stone on Frostmoth and the Luxurious Cape on the Wailord. Then we've got Bird Keeper, which is a perfect supporter for this moment. Allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon and draw 3 cards. So now the question is, can Ben match hand sizes with Craig? Can he play enough cards down so that he can swing with Iron Boulder and take this knockout? But then if Ben does take the knockout on Sobble, he will most assuredly have to contend with the 200 hit point Wailord sitting menacingly on Craig's bench. Looks like Ben's going to bench Mewtwo, match hands 4-4, and Ben will take a knockout. It's going down to just 4 prizes remaining. Wailord gets the promote from Craig. And let's see what Craig can do in order to respond. With the Recycle Energy going to the Wailord, Wailord now has the energy it needs to attack with the Special Waves attack. So we can expect to see Craig absolutely annihilate this Iron Boulder, dealing 240 damage to it. Now the real question is whether or not Ben will be able to respond with a Mimikyu. Mimikyu is Psychic's answer to Wailord. And this is one of the benefits of playing the new Wailord from Journey Together over the Special Waves Wailord. Special Waves Wailord can be victim to Copycat. Copycat is one of the most powerful attacks in this Psychic deck. Costs just a Psychic and a colorless energy. And it says, if your opponent's Pokemon used an attack that isn't a GX attack, you would think that that's not entirely relevant in Gym Leader Challenge format, but believe it or not, there are ways for these non-rule box Pokemon to use GX attacks in this format. Very rare, but there are some tool cards that give your Pokemon access to GX attacks. So Mimikyu can copy the attack that your opponent's Pokemon used during their last turn. And that means that if Mimikyu has a special energy attached to it, Mimikyu can copycat Special Waves and deal 240 damage. And we see Ben immediately bench the Mimikyu. A Special Wave attack, so long as Mimikyu has a special energy attached to it, will be doing 240 damage. And Wailord has 200 hit points with the jumbo-sized ability, which makes it so that it takes 30 less damage. And you guessed it, folks, Teammates. Teammates is the supporter of choice from Ben. He's able to search it out with Gallade and its Buddy Catch ability. Teammates will allow Ben to go get the cards he needs to power up Mimikyu, switch it into the active spot, and launch a huge copycat attack. And there's something cool about seeing the little 70 hit point Mimikyu from Guardians Rising take down the massive, imposing Wailord from Silver Tempest, right? It's just it's a pretty cool interaction. You love to see it. So Ben has got a Recycle Energy of his own. Mimikyu fully powered up thanks to Xatu or Malamar. Looks like Malamar is actually online now. Malamar has the Psychic Recharge ability, which can attach a basic energy from the discard pile, basic Psychic Energy from the discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. So Psychic Recharge and Recycle Energy going to allow Mimikyu to slay the whale, a massive copycat, for 240 damage. Now that is the exact reason why I like to play the Journey Together Wailord, because it's because of Mimikyu. I mean, the Journey Together Wailord is a little bit harder to power up in some ways, right? It requires 4 basic energy. I mean, I guess you could use Reversal Energy on the Journey Together Wailord as well, but the Special Waves Wailord is just more susceptible to these copycat style attacks than the Journey Together Wailord is, because the Journey Together Wailord does more damage for the amount of water energy attached to it, and that's not something that the Psychic deck can easily replicate. But the special energy requirement, that is something that Mimikyu can easily replicate, as we've seen here. So Craig is able to use Nessa to get the Wailord back from the discard pile and is starting to charge it up again. However, the problem with this is that Ben has Gallade in play. that means that Ben has access to whatever supporter card he wants every turn of the game. With Buddy Catch, which we see him using now, Ben can use Buddy Catch and go search out Guzma or Boss's Orders. And Ben can just stay on the offensive and continue chasing down the Whalmer on Craig's side of the board. Looks like Buddy Catch is actually going to grab Tulip, which is a supporter card, allows you to recover up to 4 in any combination of Psychic Pokemon and basic Psychic Energy from the discard pile to your hand. We also see Ben has dropped the Dimension Valley into play. Dimension Valley, I talked about earlier, one of the strongest stadium cards in Gym Leader Challenge formats, making it so your Psychic Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless less. With Versus Seeker in hand, it's another card not available in the current TCG Live card pool. Versus Seeker can recover a supporter card from the discard pile to your hand. It's an item card and is just extremely powerful in Gym Leader Challenge format, since it basically makes you capable of instantly replaying one of your singleton supporters, right? And in a singleton format, that is just incredibly valuable, as we see here with Ben able to instantly recycle his Guzma, chase down the Whalmer that Craig was trying in vain to build back up, and give it a swirly with Swirling Slice, 160 damage from the Gallade, and Ben gets to move an energy from the Gallade back to one of his bench Pokemon. Now, Ben's only got 2 prizes left to Craig's 4. Craig is definitely in a bind. He's got that Citadel in the active spot, but as we saw earlier, his one Cititan is prized. So unless he was able to draw the Cititan off the prizes earlier and I missed it, then he does not have access to the Cititan, which would typically be the backup attacker. The whole concept of this Special Waves Wailord deck is that the Wailord is not supposed to get one-hit KO'd. I mean, this deck does not have a whole lot of attackers. It really has 2 main attackers, Wailord and Cititan. And with Cititan being prized, it's kind of just the Wailord show out here. So the way that this Wailord deck wins games is you try to go 2 for 1 with the Wailord. The Wailord needs to go 2 for 1. You have to at least be able to tank a hit. But as we saw, Wailord is just no match for Mimikyu. Cititan, this is the Pokemon that Craig has prized and doesn't have access to right now. You can see the synergy between Cititan and Wailord. Wailord does more damage if it has a special energy attached to it. Similarly, Cititan also does more damage if it has a special energy attached to it. Now, this is something that would have been very good for Craig if he had been able to find this Articuno earlier in the game and put it active while he tried to build up his Whalmer. This would have been key, but he didn't have the Articuno out last turn. This could have completely changed the game. Articuno has the Blizzard Veil ability, which says as long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, whenever your opponent plays a supporter card from their hand, prevent all effects of that card done to your bench water Pokemon. So Blizzard Veil could make it so that it would be difficult to target down the Whalmer on the bench. But we see right here, Ben has already got the perfect answer to Articuno, because Articuno's Blizzard Veil gets turned off by Wobbuffet's Bide Barricade ability. And that is exactly who Ben has chosen to promote off of this escape rope. So long as Wobbuffet is in the active spot, Articuno's Blizzard Veil ability is actually completely negated. So it just seems like Ben has all of the answers to what Craig is trying to do in this match. Mimikyu to copy Special Waves, Parallel City. This is going to be a painful discard for Craig. Craig needs to discard one of his bench Pokemon, Parallel City. When you're faced with the blue side, you can only have 3 bench Pokemon. It's an incredibly powerful stadium card, one of the strongest stadium cards in the entire expanded card pool. Earlier, I was talking about cards that we're actually still seeing played in expanded format, right? Wobbuffet is one of them. Parallel City is another. Parallel City is just one of the most oppressive stadiums ever printed. I think Parallel City, Chaotic Swell, just a really, really strong card. Chaotic Swell actually gets played in a lot of Gym Leader Challenge decks just to try... Why are you so small, Parallel City? Trying to bring up the Parallel City card scan, and it's so small. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe next time. Yeah, Parallel City is just an incredibly powerful stadium card. Now, Ben has powered up Mewtwo, and what's funny about Mewtwo here is that Mewtwo does 90 damage plus 90 more damage if your opponent has 3 or fewer prize cards remaining. So a great late game finisher with that limit break attack. But poor Craig has not taken 3 prizes yet. So this Mewtwo is only going to be doing 90 damage, which just happens to be a perfect amount of damage to knock out Octillery. Ooh, and the Hex Maniac to boot. And the knockouts, bringing Ben down to just 1 prize card left. Hex Maniac is just a really, really nasty supporter card. One of the nastiest supporter cards ever printed. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, each Pokemon in play, in each player's hand, and in each player's discard pile has no abilities. This includes cards that come into play on that turn. So Craig's abilities are completely shut down this turn as Ben advances to just 1 prize remaining. Craig has got Inteleon now. I mean, Inteleon can attack. Doesn't often attack, but it can attack. It's got the Aqua Bullet attack. Usually Inteleon is kind of just here for that Shady Dealings ability, which just happens to be one of the strongest abilities in Gym Leader Challenge format. Allows you to search your deck for 2 trainer cards and put them into your hand when you evolve it. It's just so good, right? And then Drizzile has like a mini Shady Dealings that gets you 1 trainer card, so just one of the best setup cards. One of the best setup lines in the entire format. But Aqua Bullet is a super serviceable attack and 160 hit points on a stage 2. Pretty bulky. Ben, however, is able to finish the game with Gallade and a Swirling Slice attack to advance to 1-0 here at Full Grip Games GLC League Nights. GG's to both players. An epic match for sure, but Craig just got completely washed out by Ben's powerful Psychic deck. And I think Ben was really able to showcase the power of this Psychic build, the consistency, the disruption. Enhanced Hammer early on was able to slow Craig's progression down. Parallel City played a big part. Iron Boulder really got out the gates quickly and was able to put on pressure. And then the star of the show was definitely Copycat Mimikyu. Copycat Mimikyu rising to the occasion and slaying Craig's 200 hit point Wailord. There's no other attacker in Ben's deck that would be able to one-tap a fully loaded Wailord from Silver Tempest like that. But Mimikyu was able to get the job done. Congrats to Ben Peacock on a round 1 win. Tough sledding there for Craig as he loses his first round. That's what I'm talking about, folks. That was a good freaking game. That's GLC right there. That's why I love this format. All right, 19 players tonight. And something else worth mentioning, both Ben Peacock and Craig have a healthy amount of badges here at Full Grip Games. We take a look at the badge leaderboard. I swear I'm going to hang this one of these days, okay? The problem is this wall here, okay? This wall does not, like, allow you to hang heavy things from it. Okay, so like I'll hang it eventually, and I'll also like wrap this cord up so it's not like in the way. I'll fix it. Okay. Anyways, you can see the badges. Whatever. Here's Ben Peacock, and then Ben Peacock has got 4 badges. Ben has earned his Grass, Dragon, Darkness, and Fire badge. Ben with the Fire badge. Craig also has earned 4 badges so far with the Lightning, Metal, Psychic, and Darkness. While I was streaming that match, we had a couple of subs over on Twitch. Horsey with the tier 1 sub and the 69 months. Thank you, Horsey. And Heartsock with the Prime sub as well. I really appreciate that. Now, I need to go update my YouTube thumbnail, apparently, because it's got the watermark on it, so I got to go take that restream watermark away. I can do it. I just have to go in and do it manually. So I'm going to go do that right now before I forget. We're going to have 5 rounds tonight. So a full night of Gym Leader Challenge action, which is awesome. And I can't wait to see in which ways Destined Rivals affects Gym Leader Challenge format as well. It should be very exciting for our Destined Rivals $3,000 cash GLC event, which is going to be coming up on June 1st. All right, let's take a look at my desktop, shall we? Any Pokemon news over at Poke Beach? Yes, this is a card. Kind of been the talk of the GLC town lately, honestly. Zoroark. We're kind of getting like a combination of Zoroarks, right? Which is super cool. If you are familiar with the Zoroark lore, of all the different Zoroarks that have ever been printed, non-rule box ones, okay? We're not talking about trade here. We're talking about the non-rule box Zoroarks. The first, I guess maybe not like the first, but like the first good Zoroark. No, it was the first Zoroark, right? Where is he? All the way over here? The first Zoroark, yes. The very first Zoroark ever printed. Zoroark from Black and White has 100 HP and the Foul Play attack, which allows you to choose one of the defending Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So this card still gets played in Gym Leader Challenge format today because it's a very powerful attack. As we just saw in round 1, copycat attacks win games. And what's different about Zoroark as opposed to Mimikyu, Mimikyu can only copy an attack that was just performed, right? Mimikyu copies an attack that was just performed by your opponent's Pokemon. But it doesn't have to be targeting the Pokemon that performed it. So that's interesting, right? Whatever one of your opponent's Pokemon used an attack during their last turn, you copy that attack and perform it. Doesn't matter if that Pokemon's on the bench, in the discard pile, whatever. Zoroark doesn't matter what attack your opponent used last turn. You get to choose one of the defending Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. So they're different, but still both very, very good. Zoroark, similarly, can one-hit KO Special Waves Wailord if you've got a special energy attached to it. So Zoroark, quite good. Though it does get a little bit of a nerf with Twin Energy and Double Colorless Energy getting banned. Still a very valid, powerful card, though. And then the other Zoroark that sees a ton of play in Gym Leader Challenge format is the stand-in Zoroark from Breakthrough. This is a personal favorite of mine. I actually top-8'd the first ever North American International Championships with this guy, okay? My entire deck was focused around Zoroark from Breakthrough and Zoroark Break, actually, and Drampa GX. Zoroark from Breakthrough has 100 HP as well, and the stand-in ability, which allows you to switch it into the active spot if it's on your bench. And then Mind Jack does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Again, Zoroark is best paired with Double Colorless and Twin Energy, which are no longer legal for play in Gym Leader Challenge format. You have Double Turbo Energy, which is an option, but you can easily power this up with Dark Patch, Raihan, or whatever. Still a very good attack. It's not quite as broken as it was with Double Colorless Energy. And there are a bunch of ways to boost Zoroark's damage output as well. You've got Dark Claw and Muscle Band, which are both legal for play in Gym Leader Challenge format, add 20 damage to Zoroark's damage output. And a lot of decks in Gym Leader Challenge like to go wide. And when I say go wide, Gym Leader Challenge decks love to have 5 bench Pokemon. They just love to. That's one of the reasons that Parallel City is such a powerful card in Gym Leader Challenge format as well. Because Parallel City, I spell good. Parallel City makes it so that if you kind of cock your head around at 180 degrees, you could like read the blue side. Makes it so that you can only have 3 bench Pokemon, right? So Mind Jack does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. It could do 160 damage if your opponent has a full bench of 5 for just, 2 colorless energy. Super good value there. And the stand-in ability is really good because Hoopa is also one of the most popular darkness attackers with its Assault Gate attack, which does 90 damage for just 1 darkness energy, but you have to have switched it from the bench to the active spot during your turn in order to deal that 90 damage. Now, this Zoroark, right, has both Mind Jack and Foul Play, but they're both worse than the older versions of the cards, right? Mind Jack here does 30 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon, which is close. I mean, it's really close to the Breakthrough Mind Jack. It's 10 damage less, right? But it only costs 1 darkness energy as opposed to 2 colorless energy. So you've got that upside. So a potential 150 damage for just 1 darkness energy, right? Which is really good. I mean, that's still just a very good attack. And like I said, darkness decks have access to Muscle Band, Dark Claw. So you have ways to boost that damage output even further. And then Foul Play, choose one of your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks and use it as this attack. The same as the Foul Play. It's crazy to me that they made Foul Play like Foul Play was better in 2011 than it is in 2025. It's so funny how like all of the rule box cards just get like, I mean, Pokemon very clearly loves their rule box cards. They just continue to make them more and more and more and more and more broken over time. But the non-rule box cards, like this, Foul Play got worse. Okay, sure. But the Zoroark does have 20 more hit points. So it's like it's a funny combo, right? Like you've got both the foul play side of things. It costs 1 more colorless energy, sure. And you've got the Mind Jack side of things. You've got the best of both worlds, but you are the master of none. And you're missing that stand-in ability, but you do also have 20 more hit points, and you've got a single retreat cost. 1 retreat cost is very good. A lot of decks play U-turn board as a retreating aid to give your Pokemon 1 less retreat cost, so the 1 retreat cost is really good too. I fully expect this Zoroark to see play. I mean, there are ways to power up a 3 colorless energy attack. You've got the new Ignition energy that you could play. Reversal energy is also an option. Triple acceleration energy is also an option. I mean, there are ways to power this up. And then just with double colorless and twin getting banned, I mean, it's never been a better time to have a single darkness energy attack. Well, folks, round number 2 is coming right up here at GLC League. So let's get some hype going for these players. Stoked to see what matchup we've got here. Round 1 was a fun one to watch. On the right, we've got the return of Joe DiMatteo. Joe JD DiMatteo. He's taken a couple weeks off. Just has had some other things going on in his life. Was unable to attend League recently, but is a GLC regular here at Full Grip Games, and actually one of the badge leaders as well. So excited to see JD returning and anxious to see what he's brought to the table. On the left, we've got Michael Prieto, who I actually have never seen play before, so this is going to be my first time commentating over him. Let's get into the match and see what we've got. Grass versus Dragon. Let's go. Round number 2 is underway here at Full Grip Games. We've got Michael Prieto on the left versus JD DiMatteo on the right. 40 minutes on the clock, 6 prizes to take. JD playing his Dragon decks. Got Reggie Drago in the active spots. The Dragon's Horde ability, which allows him to fill his hand to 4 cards once during his turn if it's in the active spot. And the Giant Fangs attack, which does 160 damage for a Grass Fire and a colorless energy. But on the left, we've got Michael, who has got a very interesting looking start. We've got a Petalil, a Hoppip, a Caterpie in the active spots. Oh me, oh my, folks. What are we doing here? I'm going to have to start Googling some cards. Caterpie. All right, this Caterpie has got the Pupate ability. Once during your turn, you may flip a coin. Oh, I know what this Caterpie does. I know what this Caterpie does. If you, dear viewer, watched the most recent Tricky Hideout YouTube video, which is my my alternate YouTube channel, my alternate YouTube personality, Tricky Hideouts, then you will be very familiar with this Caterpie as well. Caterpie allows you to flip a coin if heads. You get to search your deck for a card that evolves from Caterpie and put it onto that Caterpie. How cool is that? It can even be used on the first turn of the game, folks. There you go. So Caterpie will instantly evolve itself with the Pupate ability. And then what's even crazier is that Metapod also has the Pupate ability. So both Caterpie and Metapod can instantly evolve themselves. If you get lucky, you can get a fully evolved Butterfree on the first turn of the game, even if you're going first. And then, of course, we see Michael has got the infamous Badoo in the active spot. Badoo is quite good in Gym Leader Challenge, just like it is in standard formats. Turns out, inflicting item lock for free is pretty dang good. With the Itchy Pollen attack, it's also got free retreat, so a great lead. JD appears to be setting up his board. He's got Regidrago in the active, Water Energy attached to it. Stormy Mountains allows him to search his deck for a basic dragon Pokemon, put it straight to the bench. Looks like he's getting Dreepy set up. Dracloak sees a lot of play in Gym Leader Challenge format just for its recon directive ability, but I know I'm not the only Gym Leader Challenge player who is desperately hoping that the Pokemon Company will eventually print a non-rule box Dragapult worth playing. Actually, there are no Dragon-type non-rule box Dragapults. The only Dragon Dragapult is Dragapult EX. So the only non-rule box Dragapults are all Psychic type. And actually, the Infiltrator Dragapult from Rebel Clash wreaked havoc on this format for years, actually. For the first couple of years of GLC, people used to complain incessantly about that Dragapult because of its Infiltrator ability. JD's got a powerful start. TM Turbo Energize on the Regidrago. Going to allow JD to search his deck for 2 basic energy, attach them to his bench Pokemon in any way he likes. And it looks like he's actually starting off with Peony as his supporter for turn. Holy cow, Peony, dude? That's a bold move, folks. Peony makes it so that you have to discard your hand. But you get to search your deck for any 2 trainer cards you want and put them into your hand. And in a singleton format, that can be very powerful. Peony is also not so bad to play when you've got Regidrago in the active spot, as Regidrago has the Dragon's Horde ability, which allows you to fill your hand to 4. Looks like JD also grabbed Bicycle off of the Peony. Bicycle also allows you to fill your hand to 4 cards. It's an item card. Allows you to fill your hand to 4. So lots of filling your hand to 4. We saw the other card that JD grabbed off of the Peony was Crispin. So with Crispin in his hand, prep for next turn, JD could get a fully loaded Giant Fangs fired off. You just have to search his deck for a fire and a grass energy, attach them both to Regidrago. And then because of Town Map, JD is going to be playing this entire game with his prize cards face up. So we'll be able to snag that double dragon energy that he sees there in the prize cards. All right, Michael has got Jumpluff online now. And Jumpluff is a really cool card in this format as well. Let's check it out. Rapid Strike Jumpluff. It's one of those funny Pokemon that can attack twice. It's got the Fluffy Barrage ability, says this Pokemon may attack twice each turn. If the first attack knocks out your opponent's active Pokemon, you may attack again after your opponent chooses a new active Pokemon. And Jumpluff was able to get instantly evolved into play thanks to Skiploom, which has an ability that says when you attach an energy from your hand to Skiploom, attack for Jumpluff and evolve it. So even though Jumpluff is a stage 2 Pokemon that only has 90 hit points, it's very easy to get into play thanks to Skiploom's ability. Petalil, what does Petalil evolve into? Lurantis? Is that what we got here? I'm pretty sure it's Lurantis. Nope. Fomantis evolves from Petalil. Who's Petalil? Lilligant. That's right. Lurantis. I'm not totally off base though, okay? Because Lurantis is the other Pokemon that has the same ability as Lilligant, okay? Lilligant is a new Pokemon from Journey Together. It's not a new Pokemon, all right? But it's got a new card in Journey Together that makes it so your Grass-type Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage when they attack. So it's very good with Jumpluff because Jumpluff can attack twice. So effectively, if you get Lilligant into play, Jumpluff can do 160 damage with Spinning Attack. You do 80, then 80. And then if you can get Lurantis into play, Lurantis also has an ability that boosts your Grass-type Pokemon's attacks by 20. So if you get both Lilligant and Lurantis into play, then you can do 200 damage for 1 energy. Man, holy smokes, here's a Beedrill. What in the world is going on with Beedrill, dude? All right, so Beedrill, I'm pretty sure the Beedrill has an ability, like if you've got if Beedrill's like the last card in your hand, you can put it into play and like draw 3. Sorry, guys. I'm on like a Googling spree right now. I know a lot of the card pool in Gym Leader Challenge. Like I know almost all the relevant cards. But every once in a while I get tossed a curveball, okay? Because this Beedrill is not a card that I see every single day. So let's get this Beedrill pulled up so you guys can see the Beedrill in all of its glory. All right. Beedrill here. Boom. It's got the Elusive Master ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon's the last card in your hand, I gotta say, I did call exactly what I know what the Beedrill does. I just can't tell you what the name of its ability is. The Elusive Master ability, if it's the last card in your hand, you can play it straight to your bench and draw 3 cards. It's got free retreat, 130 hit points, really cool combo to see pulled off. And then, God, dude, we got the Beedrill and the okay, all right, hold on. Both Beedrill and Butterfree are in play at the same time. I just want you all to take a moment to appreciate the fact that there is a Beedrill and Butterfree both in play right now at the same time. Okay? It's not every day that you get to see something like that. This is hot. All right, so Michael sets up his board and then ends his turn by using Badoo's Itchy Pollen. JD cannot play any items, however, does have Crispin in his hand and is able to just swing with Regidrago for 160 damage, giving him the lead. And JD doesn't even take the Double Dragon energy. He's actually just going to go take something else instead. So now, Michael needs to respond, right? With the 10 damage placed on the Regidrago, it's actually super relevant because The Jump Bluff will be able to take this knockout. It does 60 damage twice, right? So that math actually checks out. 10 plus 120. Reggie Drago's got 130 hit points, so the Jump Bluff will use Spinning Attack and then use Spinning Attack again. And we've got a tie ball game. At 5-5, JD has got a backup with Reggie Drago and Field Blower to remove Luxurious Cape from Butterfree and Sky Pillar from play. And it looks like JD also has Professor's Research in hand, so pretty much the best draw card he could hope for. And he's got the Dredagon in the active spots, ready to take a Revenge kill. Revenge does 40 damage plus 120 more damage if any of your Pokemon were knocked out by damage from an attack during your last turn. So 160 damage for just 2 energy. JD's going to quick ball for Tatsugiri first. And then I suspect we're going to see a big research for 7 cards. And here we go. Professor's Research. Discard the hand. Draw 7. JD would certainly like to find another energy to toss down, which we see he found a Lightning energy. Lightning goes on the Raging Bolt. And then also has Level Ball. Can use Level Ball to search out Dracloak. Dracloak can start to use that Recon Directive ability to churn through the deck and give JD some much-needed draw support. Looks like Michael has a little bit of a weak hand. Just Arven is the only supporter in his hand. Arven is just not going to get him the cards he needs right now. Arven is one of those cards that's just, really good early on in the game, but its usefulness decreases as the game goes on. JD uses Recon Directive and then finds Trainer's Mail. Off the Recon Directive, Trainer's Mail, item card from Roaring Skies allows you to look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put a trainer card you find there into your hand. JD finds Avery, which he will grab. And funny enough, JD's got Hisuian Heavy Ball in his hand, but can't play it because Hisuian Heavy Ball requires that you look at your face-down prize cards, and Town Map flips your prize cards face up. JD will gladly take that Double Dragon energy off of the prizes, advance to 4 prizes remaining. And Michael finds a Versus Seeker off the top of the deck, so Versus Seeker, but his only supporter played so far is Skyla. We've got Skyla and Arven. Neither of those are really helping right now. I mean, I guess I don't know the item cards that are in Michael's deck. I mean, Earthen Vessel and U-Turn Board are not bad. So Earthen Vessel can allow the Butterfree to attack, and Butterfree could take this knockout. All right, let's take a look at Butterfree. Sure. Butterfree could get it done. Butterfree has the Scale Hurricane attack. Flip 4 coins, and the attack does 60 damage for each heads. If at least 2 of them are heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. So Earthen Vessel actually going to prove to be extremely useful here, as it grabs 2 grass energy, and Michael is actually deciding to discard the Versus Seeker out of his hand in favor of keeping the Pot Helmet and the Super Rod. Pot Helmet going on to Butterfree retreat into Butterfree. And here we go. Scale Hurricane. We're going to see 4 coins get flipped. Okay. 60 damage times the amount of heads. Let's see it, Michael. Can we get 2 heads? Yes. 1, 2, 120 damage. And Michael takes the knockout with Butterfree, tying this game up at 4-4. Butterfree with the pot helmet has an effective 150 hit points right now. And could be tough for JD to knock out. JD is working on building up his Raging Bolts. Raging Bolt has the Thunderburst Storm attack, which does 30 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each energy attached to this Pokemon. And then we do know that he took the Double Dragon energy off of the prizes. So JD could use Thunderburst Storm to deal 90 damage to one of Michael's benched Pokemon. Could knock out Petalil, could knock out Kricketot. And we see the general strategy that Michael is going for here. He's got these low energy cost attacks, Butterfree, Jumpluff, and then is trying to boost the HP and attack power of these attacks with Pokemon like Lilligant and Kricketune. If Michael's able to get Kricketune into play, then Butterfree would be kind of beastly, actually, getting plus 40 hit points. And then with the pot helmet, that's a very large butterfly. And then Raging Bolt has the Dragon Headbutt attack, does 130 damage, which the pot helmet effectively protects the Butterfree from getting knocked out by that. So if JD doesn't have a Field Blower to remove the pot helmet, and we know JD already played his Field Blower to remove the Luxurious Cape earlier, so that pot helmet is probably going to stick, and the pot helmet is actually playing a very crucial role right now in keeping this Butterfree alive. So for supporter, JD's going to play Guzma, bring up the Kricketots with Raging Bolts. And we see JD considering a Luxurious Cape drop of his own. Trying to decide if it matters on his own Raging Bolts. But if Michael flips 4 heads on Butterfree, then Michael could take 2 prizes on Raging Bolt, right? And is that a risk that you want to take? It looks like JD is actually going to use Thunderburst Storm to chase down the Petalil on Michael's bench. And Michael's able to find a tag call, which is huge. And Guzma and Hala, I guess. Okay, so tag call can be used so that Michael can search his deck for up to 2 tag team cards, put them into his hand, and one of which he just top decked, Guzma and Hala. But the other one that Michael may want to see is Cynthia and Caitlin. Cynthia and Caitlin is a tag team supporter card, allows you to discard a card from your hand and put a supporter card from your discard pile back into your hand, and then draw 3. The unfortunate thing about having this Kricketot in the active spot for Michael is that if he doesn't find a way to pivot the Kricketot to the bench, he's going to have to waste an energy attachment attaching to it. And it looks like Michael's just going to play Guzma and Hala, discarding all of the other cards in his hand except for Super Rod. And I could tell that Michael is putting a lot of value on this Super Rod. Like a ton. Like, the most amount of value you can put on the Super Rod is being put on the Super Rod. So Michael is saving the Super Rod for a rainy day, discarding the Cynthia and Caitlin, and gets Capture Energy, U-Turn Board, and Tropical Beach off of the Guzma and Hala. The nice thing about playing the Guzma and Hala, all right, I was not expecting the Capture Energy to go onto the Kricketot. That play in particular I don't necessarily love. I think I would have liked to see the Capture Energy get attached to the Beedrill and U-Turn Board go onto the Kricketot, unless I'm mistaken and the Kricketot has a retreat cost of 2. But I don't think it does. There's no way Kricketot is that fat. No, Cricketot's got a retreat cost of 1. So I would have really liked to see, Michael should have attached the Capture Energy to the Beedrill and attached the U-Turn Board to the Kricketot so that he could go in with the Butterfree again. Because I think with the way... It's just a wasted energy attachment, if that makes any sense. There's no reason for this Capture Energy to be attached to the active Kricketot. So I really disagree with this line, and I feel like it drastically weakens Michael's board state, and also may jeopardize his chances of winning this game. So that one little error here, I think, is going to prove to be extremely costly. Michael's actually going to take time this turn to just drop the Tropical Beach and draw to 7, which further exemplifies why the Capture Energy should have gone to the Beedrill instead of the Kricketot, because Kricketot is being left in the active spot, and Kricketot doesn't need the energy, where Beedrill can actually attack. I mean, Beedrill's got the Sharp Sting attack, does 120 damage for a colorless and a grass energy with a 2 energy attack cost like that. You definitely want to get every single attack, every single attachment down that you possibly can. And then with the Raging Bolt in the active spot for JD, Raging Bolt can just chase down whatever he wants on Michael's side of the board now, because Raging Bolt can just deal snipe damage with its Thunderburst Storm attack. And right now, Thunderburst Storm is dealing 90 snipe damage. Next turn, this turn, it could do 120 if JD wanted to put another energy on this thing. But it's not necessary. I do expect to see JD chase down the Shelmet and knock it out with Thunderburst Storm, eliminating another attacker from Michael's side of the board. I see JD's got a Super Rod now, can chuck the Gabite back into the deck. Gabite. And once Gabite is evolved into play, Gabite's got the Dragon Call ability, which can search out a dragon Pokemon every turn of the game. Garchomp could be the closer that JD needs to close this game out. And we see him starting to power up that Gibble. Rainbow Energy to the bench Gibble. And Marnie going to take that nice 7-card hand that Michael just drew and send it all the way to the bottom of the deck. Michael will get just 4 cards, and JD gets 5. JD does find that Gabite and will gladly use Dragon Call to go dig Drampa out of the deck. And JD will put that Drampa onto the bench. That Drampa has an attack. Does, I think, 70 plus 70 if there are at least 2 different types of basic energy attached to it. Palpad. Going to get some use here. Toss up to 2 supporter cards from the discard pile back into the deck. Very powerful. in a singleton format like Gym Leader Challenge, where you can only play one of each card in your deck. Guzma and Raihan going to get tossed back into the deck. And then I suspect we'll see a Thunderburst Storm to take out the Shelmet on Michael's bench. Looks like Michael was able to draw into a Marnie of his own. So he's got that. As a supporter out, as well as Tate and Liza. Recon Directive. And JD can put a card into his hand with the other one on the bottom. And there he goes. Lost City getting put into play, which will send the Shelmets to the Lost Zone. And there we go. Thank you, Michael, for taking note and sending that poor Shelmets packing to the Lost Zone. JD with just 2 prizes remaining. What can Michael do to fight back? Can Butterfree do enough to combat this powerful looking dragon deck? Michael's got a U-turn board, which now he'll place onto the Cricketots. And again, I think the U-turn board should have been placed on the Cricketots originally. And I do like Michael's decision to use Boss's orders, target down this Gabite. It is certainly the scariest thing on JD's board. And with 2 heads flips, the Gabite goes down. All right, Butterfree taking out the biggest threats on JD's board as Michael goes to just 3 prizes remaining. And the Gabite goes to Lost Zone as well. The double-edged sword of Lost City in a Gym Leader Challenge deck. Every Pokemon is a singleton. So now Gibble and Gabite are both in the Lost Zone and cannot be recovered. And this is where things get tricky for the Dragon deck, because Dragon doesn't have the best energy acceleration options, and its attackers usually take at least 2 energy to use. So a lot of times you have to use cards like Mela, Raihan, I even see Max Elixir seeing some play in order to get those bonus energy attachments. Crispin, as we saw JD use earlier, Double Dragon energy is clearly already in play. And usually you're able to string together your attackers by using these energy acceleration options in addition to the Double Dragon energy. So now JD needs to be very cognizant of where his energy drops go so that he can take the final 2 prizes with the Dragon deck. If you've spent any time playing Dragon deck in Gym Leader Challenge, then you know all too well that the deck can sometimes stall out with 1 prize to go. Sometimes you're able to take 5 prizes, but you get to the end there and energy dries up and you just don't have that extra energy attachment you need in order to seal the game. And JD does get a fighting energy down onto Drampa, so that's a good start. And JD's got Night Stretcher. Will bring Druddigan back to the bench. Now we do see the Wishful Baton is actually in JD's hand. I might have liked to see the Wishful Baton actually get attached to the active Raging Bolt. Because, I mean, what are you saving it for at this point? You have one prize remaining, right? So I think I would have liked to see that that Wishful Baton get attached. Even though it only passed back one basic lightning energy, it still could be valuable on the Drampa. Well, Michael's got one Butterfree versus the world. Marnie can set JD to a 4-card hand, but if this Raging Bolt doesn't get knocked out, we know JD just tossed Guzma back into the deck. So if JD can just find Guzma, then he can target down that Beedrill on the bench and take it out with Raging Bolts. All right, Trainer's Mail. Look at the top 4 cards. Grab a trainer card you find there. Put it into your hands. It looks like Mike's going to grab Colress's Tenacity. Shuffle up, and then it's going to be all up to Scale Hurricane. See if Michael stays in this game. I think if the Raging Bolt does not get knocked out, this game is kind of over. We need 3 heads. Come on, Butterfree. Got to see 3. And it's 2 again. Raging Bolts, 10 damage short of the knockouts. But the Raging Bolt is paralyzed. All JD needs to find is Guzma. Escape Rope will also do it. Promotes, retreats, 130 damage. And that is game. JD will advance to 2-0 here at Full Grip Games Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. Great game to both players. It was really fun to watch. I think a great first stream match for Michael there on the left. Very cool, very unique deck. JD going to advance to 2-0 with the Dragon deck, one step closer to earning an additional badge here at Gym Leader Challenge League Nights. Here at Full Grip Games, our Gym Leader Challenge players compete in a badge race which lasts 1 year. It resets in July, and when you win one of our weekly Gym Leader Challenge tournaments with a specific type of deck, you earn that type's badge. And you can't earn repeat badge types. The goal is to try and earn all 10 badges by the end of the year. This is our second year doing the badge system. No one has ever earned all 10 badges. It is very difficult to do.